Welcome to this lecture video. In this video, I am going to explain Einstein's coefficients and CO2 laser, which comes under module number 4 of engineering physics prescribed by VTU. So here I am going to explain energy density, that is Einstein's coefficient, expression for energy density, and then CO2 laser. So these two concepts that I am going to explain here. So first let us go to what is Einstein's coefficients, and then let us concentrate on expression for energy density of photon in terms of Einstein's constants or Einstein's coefficients. So the expression for energy density or Einstein's coefficients, that is energy density of a photon is expressed in terms of Einstein's coefficients here. So let us consider the two energy levels of an atomic system, that is E1 and E2. E1 is the ground state energy, E2 is the excited state energy. It is observed that E2 is greater than E1, and the population of atoms at E1 and E2 will be N1 and N2. So N1 be the number of atoms present at E1 level and N2 be the number of atoms present at E2 level. Now let us consider a radiation of energy density U mu and of frequency mu incident on the atomic system. In case of induced absorption, the energy of the incident photon in the energy level E1 absorbs the energy and makes a transition to E2 level. So in case of induced absorption, the atom which is at E1 level absorbs energy and goes to E2 level. And the phenomenon is known as induced absorption. The number of absorptions made per second is known as the rate of induced absorption. Number of absorptions made per second is known as the rate of induced absorption. The rate of induced absorption is proportional to number of atoms at E1 level and energy density of incident photon. Therefore, the rate of induced absorption is equal to B12N1 mu. That is, here B12 is a proportionality constant known as Einstein's coefficient of induced absorption. In case of spontaneous emission, the atom which is at E2 level undergo transition from E2 to E1 voluntarily without the stimulation of any photon. So, in case of spontaneous emission, the photon, that is the atom, voluntarily comes down to ground state. The rate of spontaneous emission is nothing but number of spontaneous emission going to happen per second. The rate of spontaneous emission here, it is proportional to number of atoms in the excited state, that is N2. Therefore, rate of spontaneous emission is equal to A21 N2. Here A21 is called Einstein's coefficient or Einstein's coefficient of spontaneous emission. So that's what the meaning of A21. And the next one is, if the energy density U mu is incident on the atom which is already at excited state, then it will get stimulated and transit from E2 to E1, and the phenomenon is known as stimulated emission. The number of stimulated emissions going to happen per second is known as the rate of stimulated emission. The rate of stimulated emission is proportional to N2 and U mu here. Therefore, the rate of stimulated emission is equal to B21 N2 U mu. Here B21 is called Einstein coefficient of stimulated emission. At thermal equilibrium, we can write rate of absorption is equal to rate of spontaneous emission plus rate of stimulated emission. So this is what the equation stands at thermal equilibrium. So write the values of rate of absorption, rate of stimulated emission and rate of spontaneous emission. So we can write B12 N1 U mu is equal to A21 N2 plus B21 N2 U mu. So on simplification, the value of U mu is equal to A21 N2 by B12 N1 minus B21 N2. So rearranging the terms, we can write the energy density U mu is equal to A21 by B21 into 1 by B12 N1 by B21 N2 minus 1. So consider this as equation number 1. As according to Boltzmann relation, N2 by N1 is equal to e to the power of minus E2 minus E1 by Kt. Therefore, N1 by N2 can be written as e to the power of minus H mu by Kt. So this is what the value of N1 by N2. Substitute this value in equation number 1. We get U mu is equal to A21 by B21 into 1 by B12 by B21 into e to the power of minus e to the power of H mu by Kt minus 1. So as according to Planck's law, we can have one more expression for energy density of photon, that is equal to 8 by h mu cube by c cube into 1 by e to the power of h mu by kt minus 1. By comparing equation number 2 and 3, we can write A21 by B21 is equal to 8 by h mu cube by c cube and B12 by B21 is equal to 1. Therefore, finally the energy density of photon u mu is equal to A21 by B21 into 1 by e to the power of h mu by kt minus 1. So this is what the expression for energy density of incident photon expressed in terms of Einstein's constants. Now CO2 laser or carbon dioxide laser. So here the internal vibrations of CO2 gas is in 3 different modes. One is symmetric stretching mode and the other one is asymmetric stretching mode and the third one is bending mode. In case of symmetric stretching mode, the oxygen atom oscillate along the molecular axis, either approaching towards or departing from carbon atom simultaneously along the molecular axis, and carbon atoms remain stationary. And in asymmetric stretching mode, all the 3 atoms oscillating along the molecular axis, but the 2 oxygen atoms move in one direction while the carbon atom moves in the opposite direction. Whereas in bending mode, the 3 atoms oscillates normal to molecular axis, while vibrating the 2 oxygen atoms pull together in one direction as the carbon atom is displaced in the opposite direction. The molecule possesses highest energy in this state. So I am going to show you the diagrams of 3 modes of vibrations possessed by the carbon dioxide molecules. One is asymmetric mode, symmetric mode and bending mode. So these were all the types of oscillations going to happen in CO2 molecules. And when we look at the construction of CO2 laser, so the CO2 laser consists of a quartz discharge tube of about 5 cm length and 2.5 cm diameter. The discharge tube is filled with gaseous mixtures of CO2, helium and nitrogen at suitable partial pressures. The terminals of the discharge tube are connected to a DC power supply. The ends of the discharge tube are fitted with NaCl Brewster windows so that the light generated would be polarized. So this is what the construction. And when we comes to the working part, when an electrical discharge is passed through the gas, the electrons collide with nitrogen molecule and are raised to excited state. So that will be shown in the energy level diagram. So here the electron first interact with nitrogen and make it excited state as shown in the picture, and subsequently the nitrogen molecules in the excited state collide with the CO2 molecules in the ground state and excite them to higher energy state. Since the excited level of nitrogen is closer to the excited level of CO2 molecules, the population of CO2 molecules at the excited state is increases, and hence we are going to achieve population inversion. So any of the spontaneously emitted photon will trigger the laser action. So that's what going to happen here. There are 2 types of laser transitions going to happen here, that is transition from E5 to E4, and in this process a laser beam of 10.6 micrometer is emitted, and transition of CO2 molecule from E5 to E3 leads to a laser beam of wavelength 9.6 micrometer. Here the power output of the laser is found to be 10 kilowatts. So this is what about the CO2 laser. Now let us go to the problems. The average power output of a laser beam of wavelength 6500 angstrom is 10 milliwatts. Find the number of photons emitted per second by the laser source. Here P is 10 milliwatts, T is 1 second, and C is 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second, and H is 6.63 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joule second. And the value of lambda is 6500 angstrom. We know that E is equal to P into T, and further E is equal to N into Hc by lambda. Then N can be written as lambda Pt by Hc. Therefore N, after simplification, we will get 3.268 into 10 to the power of 16. So many number of photons emitted per second. A pulsed laser emits photons of wavelength 820 nanometer with 22 milliwatt average power per pulse. Calculate the number of photons contained in each pulse if the pulse duration is 12 nanoseconds. So lambda is given as 820 nanometer here, and P is 22 milliwatts, and T is 12 nanoseconds, and H is 6.625 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joule second, and C is 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. So we know that E is equal to P into T, further E is equal to N into Hc by lambda. Therefore N can be written as lambda Pt by Hc. So number of photons emitted or contained in each pulse will be written as N is equal to lambda Pt by Hc. So substitute the value of lambda, Pt and H and C here, and on simplification we get N is equal to 1.089 into 10 to the power of 9 so many photons emitted per second. So this is what the solution for the given problem. Thank you.